Bright, warm, sunny days. Good for the garden and gardener. That is, until it gets too hot, too sunny, for too long. They sure do make you more grateful for days like these. There are few things in the garden life that causes one to pause and appreciate the rhythm of nature than that of a summer rainstorm. It reminds us what else is needed besides sunbeams and photosynthesis, and that of soil life, which requires life-sustaining water. Interestingly, this oscillating pattern of sunny, then rainy, then sunny days can ebb and flow outside the gardener's preference. So, we can take proactive measures and hedge ourselves for a dry spell. I installed a rain barrel, 58 gallons to be exact. It takes only a few hours of a good downpour to fill her up, yet can be saved and used for a few days of watering during a dry spell. Sure, we can use city or well water, but that defeats the purpose of dancing to the rhythm of nature. Another word for rhythm is cycle. Everything has a life cycle. For lettuce, this is the beginning of its life cycle. Before placing them in a planting medium, I germinated these tiny seeds here through the wet paper towel method. It's time for me to transplant the lettuce seeds. And then when it's warmer outside, we'll transplant. I was surprised. I didn't know how long it would take for these seeds to germinate with this paper towel method. I started them just 2 nights ago. So last night when I came home from work, I looked, and even then they had germinated. I just couldn't get around to doing this part until the next night. This will be tricky. I can see, there's just these so fine roots on that main. This will be neat. Sowing seed indoors or under cover does grant the advantage of an early crop and mitigates a potential midsummer infestation of pests. A few weeks later, I directly sowed lettuce seed outdoors, and you can see noticeable growth even after 1 week. It amazes me how quickly lettuce can grow. For the record, I noticed the directly sown lettuce did better this spring. They seemed to be more vigorous. Since I sowed seed too close, the downside was the need to thin them, which I didn't do a too good of a job along with weeding. All spring we enjoyed fresh, crisp lettuce for salads. Once the lettuce started showing signs of bolting, I harvested the rest all at once. Now isn't that just beautiful? It sure put a smile on my face. I gave transplanting another shot in the fall. Here in Georgia, the long summers allow for a fall garden. The summer warmth is good for germination and fast growth, while the autumn days keep them fresh and free from wilting. Here it is. We have the plastic covering now. Over here we have romaine lettuce, a little patch of cilantro, a bunch of green leaf lettuce, and then we have an empty space. Then we have some parsnips. You can see them here. With some season-extending polyurethane, we enjoyed salads nearly all through the winter. A real treat. Another treat of ours is oven-roasted beets, especially the kids. Along with lettuce, it's a good spring and fall garden crop. The winter beets were harvested around Christmas time after suffering a few hard frosts. The late spring harvest was more memorable. Well, the time has arrived, or maybe it's been in need of this for a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to be harvesting the beets today, but if you take a look, it seems that I've been growing weeds with an infestation of beets and not the other way around. Weeding, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
So I grew two kinds. I had the bull's blood and a different variety. I have labels, they're in the ground somewhere, but the reeds have covered them up and I can't read them. So something I've observed is, I mean, for example, here's a beet plant, right? There's weeds everywhere. I mean, here's another beet plant. You can tell by the dark red ribs. And there's weeds everywhere, mostly grasses, but if you notice, this is a weed, right? And this here is another weed. But what I find fascinating is these weeds, have been ravaged by pests. I mean, the leaves are just destroyed, but if you look at the beets, they don't seem as badly damaged. It's perhaps it was my applications of compost tea. Perhaps the pests just prefer these weed as a food source. I don't know, but I mean, so far the leaves of the beets look pretty good. My prediction is these beets aren't going to be too big. The soil is pretty clay, and but we'll see how big they get.
Yeah.
We're just going to harvest everything, take all the beets out, and then put them in a bin, and then destroy the weeds, and then we'll have some new space for some new crops to put in.
Yeah.
So
That means food.
let's work on it.
Yeah.
All right, Braxton, so I have this white bucket here. Let's see how many weeds we can put in this white bucket, and then the beets we'll put in this thing. Braxton, will you please stand on that pathway there? And we'll put this white bucket right here. All right, so let's see here. Here's the first beet. I'm gonna pull this sucker out and see how it looks.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are tons of weeds. This is a mess.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh,
It's a small beet.
thank you, Braxton.
It looks like it's
I appreciate the compliment. Here is our first beet. It's not generously large, but it's small. You're right, Braxton. It's small, but it has some good foliage we can cook with, and these are always fun to eat.
Leaving the leaves.
Okay, let's gather more. Braxton has one that he can pull up now. You just grab it around the bottom, make sure you have a tight grip on it, and you pull it up.
Like this.
Yeah, pull. You did it.
Right there.
Yeah, shake that dirt off. Why don't you show it to the camera? Is it a big beet?
No, it looks like it's like a big and small beet.
Big and small beet.
Yeah. Big
Okay.
and small beet.
Good. This one might be the biggest.
Yeah.
At least one with probably one of the most foliage on it. There we go. Hey!
It's a big one.
Not too bad.
Well, it looks
Not too
like
bad.
It's so big. We can do that.
Not bad, huh?
We can eat all of that.
Yeah,
But
we can
not
eat all of it, yeah.
the weeds,
Not the weed part. Yeah, that's right.
or not the stem.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
Well, we've been making some progress. We got a big beet here Braxton's gonna show us. Oh, how big is that one?
So big.
So big. Here it is. Pretty big. Nice size.
Yeah. Right here.
Nice. So here are all the beets that we harvested, both varieties that we made, the Bull's Blood and the Early Wonder. It is a wonder though how small these are, but I got a few big ones. I was pretty proud of this guy right here. This one's pretty well sized. The rest are just real tiny.
We're gonna roast the beets, and then these greens we'll chop up and saute, and it'll be delicious. All right, let's take a look here. There we go. It's kind of some neat coloration you can see here. So, now here's the bull's blood. Wow, really bright. This is a strong, bright pink. Okay, well I'm gonna go ahead and process these and get these going.
Well, that's it for now. What's growing in your garden? See you next time.